Hi everybody, welcome to Dinner with Dads, a divorced dad's guide to cooking quick, clean, and cheap. I'm your dad of the day, Sky. This show isn't just about food. It's about survival, healing, and making the most of your time with your kids. Whether you're newly single, longtime solo, or you're just tired of being the drive-through parent, those famous golden arches. I'm here to help you feed your kids without losing your mind and hopefully or your money. How this started, I started this during my own divorce. I was juggling naps with the youngest one, homeschool with my oldest one, breakdowns, mine mainly, and making sure that my girls ate something other than goldfish crackers and sugar. Spoiler alert, I'm not a chef, not even close, not gonna even try to disguise that. I'm a washed up comedian, a sober alcoholic, an insurance salesman, and a dad who figured out how to cook with camping pots, the kind you gotta click the handle on, and a cast iron pan behind me there because, that's all that was left. You won't find fancy techniques here, just simple, stress-free meals with a side of dad jokes, real talk, and maybe some healing. So if you're feeling broken, overwhelmed, unsure of how to be the rock that you used to be for your kids, I get it. I've lived it. And I want to help you through it. One meal at a time. So today's episode is called The Elephant in the Room. Your life just flipped upside down, and we're going to comfort that chaos with something like comfort food. So what I have today is a chicken pot pie dumpling crock pot meal that takes 15 minutes to prep and will give you hours to actually be present with your kids instead of stuck in the kitchen, burning something, frustrated, reading recipes, and just having, I'd say organized chaos. So I want to remind you, it's okay to not be okay, but it is okay to eat well while figuring it out. So let's cook. All right, everybody. So for this meal, it literally costs you less than $30 and it's going to feed at least 4 people. So your cost per plate goes way down on this, all using healthy ingredients. I prefer to buy organic. There are some things you can buy that don't need to be organic, but we can get into that another time. With this said, the most expensive part of this meal your first time is going to be all the herbs and spices. But once you've got them in your pantry, you've got them for a long time. So if it's your first time, don't be in shell shock that, you've got to buy each of these at anywhere from $4 to $7 a spice. I try to find them on discount or when they're on sale, and then I buy up in bulk. So what we need a little bit of oregano, thyme leaf, bay leaf, parsley, rosemary leaf, and garlic powder. I know I promised not to be complicated here. This is about as complicated as it gets, but these are necessary because we want this thing to have a lot of fullness, a lot of richness. It's chicken pot pie with dumplings. It's got to taste good. If it doesn't, and let me tell you, I have experimented with a lot. They didn't taste good. I had my 2-year-old go bleh and spit it out. I had my oldest throw hers out, and I got sick from eating one of them. So here we go. The other items you're going to need, of course, are the basics. A carrot, an onion, chicken thighs. It's recommended to use chicken thighs because they get a little bit more moisture with the dark meat versus a chicken breast that tends to get pretty dry. But it's dealer's choice. It's up to you. Salt and pepper, and then of course chicken broth. And I really recommend low sodium. Kids should not have a lot of salt. It's bad for their kidneys. It's bad for their development. And it's bad for you too. So anyways, we all get older at some point and pay the penalty later. I've definitely take plenty of pills in the morning proving that. Okay, let's get started on measuring out our ingredients. First, you're going to need measuring spoons. If you don't have them, because you don't have them, I suggest going to a place that rhymes with roller fee. Real cheap, real easy. This isn't Williams-Sonoma cooking. You don't need anything fancy. It's a measuring spoon. So we're going to start with half a teaspoon of kosher salt. I use Himalayan salt. I know I'm probably going to get yelled at for it. I don't know by who because, I live alone, other than when the kids are with me. But that's what I like, so that's what I'm doing. Pepper, Well, we inhale pepper like it's an illegal drug over here. So here we go. I'm just going to add a whole lot and kind of wing it there. All right, next we're going to go ahead and lay our chicken thighs in the bottom, coat it in the salt and pepper. It's not a whole lot of science here to it, guys. Real easy. Just get it in there. This is the part where I wash my hands because I am OCD as hell and I don't blah. So yeah, be right back. All right, now that my hands are clean, thank you. It's time for the rest. So let's start with 1 bay leaf. Real complicated. Throw that in there. 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. There we go. Okay. I like to set them off to the other side so I don't get confused. 1/2 teaspoon of dried rosemary. Also, I don't like mixing stuff over the top of my crock pot because knowing me, I'm going to make a mess. I'm going to spill and end up putting too much in there or something silly. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. The stuff's dry, that's for sure. It's as dry as my sobriety. Okay. And if you are a drinker, by the way, and you find you have a problem, get help. Don't go through a divorce having those problems. Get sober for your sake and for your kids' sake. I'll leave it at that. But it changed my life immensely, and I fully support anyone that tries to get help. All right, back to cooking. 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. I don't know why I'm yelling. I think it's gotten to that point where I'm talking to myself too much. Okay, what are we missing? Oregano? There's no oregano in this. Who told me there was oregano? It's the cat. I gotta yell at the cat. Why did I think there was oregano? Dumb shit. Welcome to Cooking with Alzheimer's. I'm your host. Okay, next up here, we're going to go to the carrot, the onion, chicken broth, and the cream of chicken soup. Pretty easy stuff. So, peel your carrot. Real quick, real easy. Don't take your fingers off. Yes, you're watching a divorced man peel a carrot. Hey, it's your YouTube, man. You know, you chose to watch this. Okay, there we go. Get that out of the way. You'll see I'm not a chef when you see my knife work. The fact I still have all my fingers is pretty amazing, to be honest with you. Okay, well, I'm cutting this carrot up a little smaller just because, well, I got little kids and they're in that stage of life where they are pretty much finicky on everything. So I'm just trying to make it as appetizing as possible by not having too big a chunk. So let's go ahead and cut that up. I'll come back and get the little larger chunks right after this. Okay. If I ever were to work in a restaurant, they would not have me on the prep station, that's for sure. Be called Skylar Two Fingers. All right. You're probably hearing that on my microphone. Okay, putting our carrot in. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and do our 1 3/4 cup of low sodium chicken broth. All right, that's good. Throw it in. It's in. All right, what do we got left here? We're gonna do our cream of chicken soup. And also our onion. Okay. That guy went in there. I'm gonna spare you from me cutting up the onion, so we're gonna fast forward to that. Okay, so we've cut up our onion and we've added it to our crock pot mixture. There it is. The recipe calls for a whole onion. I end up using only about 2/3 of it. That onion I got, which was a yellow onion, so surprisingly, man, it was strong. I mean, I'm tearing up through my contacts, and those are built-in safety glasses. So it's that, or, you know, I am trying to get in touch with my emotional side, so maybe that's what's going on too. Who knows? Anyways, this is the fun part. We throw this puppy into the cooker. And now this is what it's all about. Set it and forget it, baby. Put it on high for 3 to 4 hours. We're gonna check the chicken after 3 hours, see if it's ready to shred, and then we're gonna add our other ingredients. All right, it's been about 3 hours and 15 minutes, and we're ready to check our chicken. Is it chick going? Oh. All right, if you don't have one of these, go to Home Depot. If you're a man watching this, come on, it's a free trip. Free trip to Home Depot, and it's an excuse. And if you're divorced, you don't even have to make the excuse anymore. You can go to Home Depot whenever you want. I go to Home Depot enough that they think I work there. So, you know, they even gave me a complimentary orange apron. So that's scary. Anyways, you can find this in the barbecue aisle. It's a thermometer. It's a meat thermometer. I think they're like 20 bucks. You know, there's lots of chefs that tell you with red meat, how to press on here. Look, that's great. I don't trust it. I don't trust my judgment. And apparently some other people don't either. So, you know, anyways, so here's the meat thermometer. I'm gonna stick it in my chicken. We want at least 165, well over it. Again, that's why we're using chicken thighs, because they stay moist even when they get a little overcooked. And we're cooking in liquid, so shouldn't be a real big deal. So let's go ahead and pull it out. And we're gonna shred these bad boys up and stick them back in. There's our bay leaf. We could probably get rid of that now. Nobody likes chewing on those things, unless you're into that sort of thing. Oh man, I'm starving just smelling this. It smells so good. I'm telling you right now, man, if my kids turn this one down, oh no. All right, just take your 2 forks. Just shred away. Just takes a second. Real easy. Nothing complicated. There's no, you know, French finesse here. And you can tell I'm definitely not a chef. Just a dad cooking for his kids as fast as I can so that I can spend time with them, be present with them, and enjoy every minute, especially if you're on limited time. I'm very lucky that I'm at a point where we are, you know, joint, getting along, and really balanced with our kids. But before we got there, you know, like I said, I had to learn how to cook quick. And, you know, you'll notice behind me, I don't have a microwave. I ripped that thing out 4 years ago. And, you know, if you've got a toaster oven, cast iron, and a couple pots, it's really all you need. And a barbecue, of course, always helps, right? And we'll get into barbecue meals later on in the next couple episodes. Because why not? It's barbecue. All right. We're shredded up. Get shredded, man. All right. We are shredded. We're going back in the pot. We're going to add our peas right after this. Get rid of that bay leaf. Get out of here, sucker. And just throw it right back in. Even some big chunks are okay. I like big chunks, you know. All right, get it out of the way. Next up, peas. We're going 1/2 cup of peas. We're gonna take our biscuits and we're gonna quarter each biscuit, roll them into balls. So I'm gonna show you that now. All right, we're ready to throw in our peas. I've already measured them out. You might want to put extra in. My kids are in a whole pea phase right now. They love it. I should probably put extra in, but right now, this is what we're doing. Just throw those guys in there, a little mix. You'll notice I've already cleaned up from as I go here. Recovered alcoholic. I still got some weird kinks in me. I'm very OCD on cleaning, but I find that I clean as I cook. I find time in between that it doesn't leave a big mess, therefore less stress. Things get done quickly and, keep a pretty clean house. All right, the dough. This may be the only dough you're rolling in for a while if you're going through a hard time, so enjoy it while we got it. We're going to cut it into quarters. Roll it up into a ball. Rolling dough, baby. Throw it on the top. Well, that one kind of sunk, but that one's a goner. There we go. Nice and easy. You don't have to put the whole thing in. I'm probably just going to do a couple because I'm eating by myself tonight. I'm going to save this for tomorrow when I get my little ones over here and surprise them with this. So I'm excited. So I'm just going to put a couple in. The other dough, I'm going to put enough in. I'm going to pull out the dough after so it doesn't sit and get real soggy, but I'm going to leave the other half of the dough for another meal here. I don't want to go crazy on the bread. Okay, that's it. I'll throw the top back on. We're going another 2 hours, and it's time to eat. All right, it's been just shy of 2 hours. It's real important that you check the dumplings, I forgot to mention earlier, about after an hour, because sometimes they can cook faster, depending on what brand biscuit you're using. But you don't want them to be undercooked, obviously, and you also don't want to risk overcooking. I may have overcooked a little, and they start to get a little soggy, but hey, I'm into it. So let's check it out. Oh man, look at that. This looks great. It smells great too. I'm starving. There's our chicken. We got some carrots, we got our peas, all the spices. I'm gonna get some of these biscuit dumplings in there. Let's give it a shot. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth. Oh man. Yeah, this is really good. I'm going to put it down or I'll just keep eating and you can watch that for the next 10 minutes. Anyways, in conclusion, here was a simple meal. Took me no time at all. I didn't have my kids today. So in between all of this, I got my dishes done other than what I'm going to, eat out of. So the big part of that's done. I actually ended up getting some time to vacuum, clean my toilets. Fun stuff to talk about at dinner, right? And, get a little bit of housework done before I get my kids tomorrow. Had I had my kids, what I would have done, I would have probably given them a bath I do that before dinner sometimes, depending on the day and if we're in a rush or whatever time it is. I would have played with them for sure, maybe some homeschool. We do that in our family, and it works well for us. So, I hope you try it. I hope you enjoy it. This was my first time actually making this meal. It was recommended by another dad, and it did not disappoint. So I'm looking forward to finishing it. Next episode, all about time management, how to balance a little bit better when we get a more interactive meal versus just a crock pot. So check it out. Thanks for being with us.